Orientalism is pressing upon us. It can be found on TV, in movies, in the music we listen to, and the books that we read. Before I discuss the impact Orientalism has, it is necessary to understand the term. The term Orientalism comes from Edward Said, who in 1978 published a book called Orientalism. The dictionary defines Orientalism as a viewpoint held by a Western culture in which the Eastern culture is seen as exotic, mysterious, irrational, violent, and/or highly sexualized. Generally speaking, Orientalism is the stereotyping of Middle Eastern or Asian people. The idea of Orientalism has been around forever, while the term is relatively new. My argument stands that Said is correct in saying that the stereotyping found in media and literature affects the way Western cultures view the East. In 1862, Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres painted the Turkish bath. While the title clearly displays that the women are supposedly Turkish, the painting exemplifies them as very European. Many of the women have light hair and fair skin, while actual Turkish women typically have darker hair and a deeper skin tone. However, there is one very dark woman found in the corner. The women in the Turkish bath are highly sexualized. They can be seen touching and caressing one another. In real life, Turkish women probably did not sit in baths all day like this. In 1862, this image was viewed by many European people. They had no idea what real Turkish women were like, so they assumed them to be like the women of the Turkish bath. Orientalism can be seen in William Shakespeare's tragedy, Othello. Othello is viewed as a mysterious and violent man in the play. He is well liked by most, but is the obvious outsider. Just as in the Turkish bath, the character of Othello is surrounded by a high sense of sexuality. While the actual play gives no description of Othello's clothes, in many film versions he wears a less European style than the other characters. He also wears rings, bracelets, earrings, and tattoos. This image further outcasts Othello's character. These views of traditional Orientalism have carried over into today's society. One example of this is Timbaland's Indian Flute. During this song, an Indian woman sings, while Timbaland says, "Sing it to me." As she sings some more, he then exclaims, "But I can't understand a word you're sayin'." Here again, an Eastern country is portrayed as being over-sexual and mysterious. The film 300, directed by Zack Snyder, also shows Orientalism. The Persians in the movie 300 are portrayed very incorrectly. The first image given of a Persian is gruesome. A dark and mysterious man rides towards Sparta, holding the heads of conquered kings. This image makes the Persians seem overly violent. Next, we meet King Xerxes, who is extremely tall, painted gold, and has a ridiculously deep voice. The real King Xerxes was not so highly decorated and was a much more simple man. The Spartan soldiers in the 300 are glorified. They are seen as heroes because they fight fair and justly, yet this is a Western view. The Eastern society is portrayed in a different light. The Persians are seen to use magic. They use special soldiers called the Immortals. This image mystifies the Persians and makes them seem like they are cheating. Alpheus is the character that betrays the Spartans. He leaks information to the Persians after the promise of power, sex, and money. The portrayal of Persians in the 300 is certainly not correct, but it definitely shows the ideas of Orientalism. It is seen that Orientalism still affects today's society, many times without us even realizing it. However, not everyone agrees with Said's view of Orientalism. One book written against Said's Orientalism is Daniel Bazico's Reading Orientalism, Said and the Unsaid. Another book is Ibn Warwick's Defending the West, a critique against Edward Said's Orientalism. One of the main arguments against Orientalism is that Said constructed the stereotypes himself. Another is that he ignored works and writings that argued against Orientalism. It's also said that he misunderstood the works of scholars, and even Western civilization as a whole. While these arguments may be true, I don't think we can easily dismiss the idea of Orientalism. These stereotypes have become part of our everyday lives. We can see them in music, films, and books. While Orientalism is not something that can be removed or undone, it is important to acknowledge that a group of people has been inaccurately portrayed. It is our job to look past these stereotypes and realize that we cannot believe everything we see.